Good morning and welcome to West Shore Unitarian Universalist Church. We bid you welcome who come with a weary spirit seeking rest.
Who come with troubles that are too much with you, who come hurt and afraid.
We bid you welcome who come with hope in your heart.
Who come with anticipation in your step, who come proud and joyous.
We bid you welcome who are seekers of a new faith.
Who come to probe and explore, who come to learn.
We bid you welcome who enter this hall as a homecoming.
Who have found here room for your spirit, who find in this people a family.
Whoever you are, whatever you are, wherever you are on your journey, we bid you welcome. I'm Judy Montgomery, West Shore Worship Associate, and joining me today is our guest speaker this morning, Reverend Shirley Nelson. She is an ordained interspiritual minister, certified interspiritual compassionate counselor, and life skills coach. She is also the founder of Sands Sacred Circle, which offers retreats and workshops. Shirley offers Inner Essence Serenity sessions to individuals to explore their spiritual journey with the intention to raise their consciousness and deepen their understanding of themselves and others. A warm West Shore welcome to you, Reverend Shirley. Also joining me are David Blazer, music director, Bob Beamer and Christine Salante, who are our tech folks, enabling people beyond these walls to be a part of our service. A special welcome to you today if you are a newcomer to our community, gay or straight, cisgender or transgender, whatever your race or ethnicity, whether you are here in the sanctuary or watching at home, you are welcome. There's a lot going on at West Shore in the next couple of weeks, including, and maybe especially, a Giving Tree project with Unison UCC. Please check your e-news for details. I've followed the link, and it's incredibly user-friendly to pick a child from Unison to give gifts to this Christmas. It's very user-friendly, so I urge you to check it out. Once again, welcome to this new day. Every week, we light our chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. It is a beautiful reminder that no matter how many jarring events might happen over the course of the week, the gathered community that is West Shore Unitarian Universalist Church is a source of stability and meaning that we can depend upon. So now I light our chalice with these words. At times, our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lighted the flame within us. Let us witness to the unity of our spirit by saying together our Unison Affirmation words. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. El amor es el espíritu de esta iglesia, y el servicio su ley. Este es nuestro magnífico convenio. Vivir juntos en paz, buscar la verdad en el amor y ayudarnos los unos a los otros.
We come to this good morning, remember legacies of oppression. Healing is our way forward. Joy is the birthright of all.
So may it be. And now we turn to our time of greeting. Beloved community, let us greet each other in the spirit of love. If you are worshiping at home with us, you are invited to share the names of people you are holding in your personal thoughts and prayers this morning by typing the names into the Facebook chat. For the folks who are worshiping here in the sanctuary, I invite you to turn around towards the choir loft and greet the folks at home. Wave and say hello. This has been our greeting time, where we remember that there can be places in this difficult world which are truly holy, where we feel love and amazing grace. Now let's sing together our first hymn, number 123, Spirit of Life. The word gratitude isn't in the hymn, but it feels as if it embodies the spirit of gratitude. Please stand as you are willing and able. Began to recognize gratitude as a tool when I was attending 12-step meetings some years ago. When someone was feeling depressed or lonely, it was suggested they have an attitude of gratitude, which was one of the slogans of the program, along with familiar things like one day at a time. An attitude of gratitude, it was suggested, could be cultivated by writing gratitude lists regularly, maybe daily. An old friend of mine from that time, these days, texts a greeting of a long list of things she's grateful for every morning and every night, partly as a way to let her family know she's okay, but it's got to lift the hearts of just everybody who's on that list. Some of the things she's grateful for are a working dishwasher, a bright sky, for morning coffee, for frost patterns on a neighbor's roof. So many things for which to be grateful. Back during those days, I was feeling guilty for so many things. I was aware that I had so many things. I just felt so fortunate, and I really got caught up in how many people aren't that fortunate, and I just felt really guilty. Somebody suggested to me an attitude of gratitude was the solution for that too. And then I went a little further, recognizing that since I believe in reincarnation, this is my lifetime this time. And so my job is just to be grateful and enjoy it. And next lifetime, it might not be that way, so enjoy it this time. Sometimes these days when I feel regret about something I've done or said in the past, or worrying about something in the future, I try to think about, is there something I can do about that thing right now? And if so, do it. Take care of it. And if not, I just try to be present and celebrate the moment. A few weeks ago, I lost another good friend, Jan. I know a couple of you know her too, or knew her. We were school colleagues, and then we traveled together for quite a few years. And it was a jolt. She died unexpectedly. And after the initial tears, I started remembering with a lot of gratitude the wonderful, amazing adventures we had all over the world, as well as how many times we just had good laughs. Actually, these days I tend to feel sad and then I just giggle because I remember something that was just so funny. So I'm grateful for what is and what was. I've shared with you before from this pulpit the adjustment that I made 11 years ago now when I moved to the 14th floor. I was feeling so sad because I'd lived in a house with birds and animals and woods, two sides of the house. And then I started realizing how much nature there is from the 14th floor, how much beauty right outside my window near the lake. Eagles, the swallows, vultures, blue jays occasionally come and perch on my balcony and talk to me, and you know they're pretty raucous. The seagulls, the red-winged blackbirds, then there's the clouds and the trees, the wind, the lake, the waves. It's so interesting how they can change direction in such a short time. And then in the winter, the ice, the freezing and the thawing, and the storms, watching the storms roll in. Before I lived on the 14th floor, I was just afraid of storms because I realized later I was worried about the trees in those woods falling on the house. And now I can just watch those storm clouds and the rain roll in. It's just fascinating. So much beauty. So there's beauty in your life right now. Do you see it? And now today's offering. The Religious Education and Engagement Council has chosen the Denison UCC Garden, Patch of Heaven, as the recipient of the November outreach offering. The garden is a community garden where neighbors can plant their favorite vegetables in raised beds or pick berries in season. This is a place where all are welcome. Children can learn to appreciate botany and fresh foods. The produce used in the grown in the garden will be used to prepare meals for the Haven, for church gatherings, and for community members who help to tend the raised beds. Information about gardening, composting, and healthy eating will be available to all. We would like to create educational sharing events and displays to promote tasty and wholesome foods. The relationship between West Shore and Denison is sustained by West Shore members who volunteer at Denison, providing help with office work, food distribution, gardening, and general community building. Several members of West Shore have participated in the Equity Lab offered by the Reverends Ikuda and Street. The morning offering will now be given and gratefully received.
Good morning, West Shore. Again, it's great to be with you again. I invite you to join me in prayer. But before the prayer, I just want to say one of the things that I am grateful for, and then several things that some of the board members of the Cleveland Plain Dealer are grateful for. And then we'll enter into a prayer. I am so grateful for the outcome in the Ahmaud Arbery trial, in which 3 men were convicted of his murder. When we were singing The Spirit of Life, there's a line in there that says, "Giving life the shape of justice." I think we have experienced the shape of justice in this particular trial. There were a number of editorial board members of the Plain Dealer who offered what they are grateful for. The Plain Dealer has been full this entire month of ways of being grateful, things that people are grateful for. It's been really delicious. And so one of the editorial board members, Eric Foster, a columnist, and I'm just going to take a bit of what he said, just in case you've read it and you know. "I'm grateful for the gift of life. I'm grateful that I'm here with the present ability to love and be loved." Lisa Garvin, another editorial board member, says, "I'm grateful for home, health, heart, and hope. I am forever grateful for a home of my own, continued good health, a heart that still believes in love and hope, that despite darkness, we will always find the light." And last but not least, Victor Ruiz. He's grateful for the quality time with family and for those who risk their lives every day to ensure that we are safe. And so as we enter into this prayer, it's an excerpt from a prayer by Deepak Chopra, "Gratitude is my prayer." I invite you to either lower your eyes or close your eyes and just get comfortable in your seats. And I'll share a few thoughts on gratitude. And in between sentences, we'll just take a deep pause and reflect. So let's start with several deep breaths. And as we enter into this prayer, I invite you to consider some of the things that you're grateful for and some of the people and experiences that you've had. Consider the simple practice of gratitude as a transformational act that opens us to infinite abundance, boundless love, and carries us to a place of deep peace. Gratitude is the doorway to abundance. As we invite the energy of gratitude into our lives, we become alchemists, changing dark into light, scarcity into plenty, and fear into love. When we focus on the things we are grateful for, we are open and accepting of life as it is, perfectly imperfect. The highest level of gratitude is an appreciation for existence itself. We are each blessed with the opportunity to experience life. Each one of us is uniquely exquisite with magnificent capabilities. Take a moment to take stock of all the things you are grateful for. The ability to breathe, the steady beat of your heart, the love of those around you. They are simple things that come to you effortlessly, but they are miracles that happen over and over each day. Envision and embrace these feelings of gratitude. See them as they ripple outward like a pebble dropped into a still pond. As the ripples expand, see them carrying your gratitude as far as the eye can see, then even further, touching the hearts of all humanity. And so it is. Please open your eyes when you are ready. Thank you, David. I love that song. And there's actually a version that has words to it. Sometimes a prayer will do. Some of the words talk about how there are times when we reach for things and they're not really there. And we struggle to find a place or something to hold on to. What I've come to learn in my life is that some of the things that have been most difficult and have hurt the most have been some of my most powerful learning experiences. And throughout time, throughout these different struggles, I've had to do a lot of praying. One of the things that I found, which is why our topic today is being grateful for what is, that one of my challenges was living too far in the past or too far in the future. And I needed to be in the present moment. It was kind of crazy. I'd do things like go on a date, and before the date was over, if he was nice, we were already married. I already had it in my head what was going to happen next. So we all know that didn't work. That does not work. But what I learned is, through error, trial and error, that I did not know how to live in the present moment. And it was through some of my spiritual growth, workshops, sermons, books that I've read. One book by Byron Katie, Loving What Is, that helped me to realize that I had to start looking at life differently. And so I'd say my greatest step in spiritual growth has been learning to live in the present moment. So I'm going to read to you a poem that I wrote, which is pretty much a summation of the gratitude that I have for the growth in my life, through the good and the bad and the ugly. Sometimes a prayer will do when things are troubling and complex, and help release the bitterness that lands on our doorstep, and help us see the very thing that makes our life so messy could very well be that same thing that is our wildest blessing, to show us what is needed for our highest and our best, to help us open up our hearts to joy and happiness. Sometimes the things that hurt the most are things that help us grow and find our way in spite of pain and leads us to a door that opens up a path we never would have realized because of life's trajectory down roads that can be scary. But have you ever wondered if the path that you are on is one that's meant to help you find a different paradigm? It's hard to break a pattern that's been part of you for years. It's hard to see life differently through your sadness and your tears. If all you do is ponder on why this thing has come upon you, perhaps the question you should ask is, can this take you further? Can it help you see that problems have not come to hold you back, but they've come to help you realize that you are much bigger than that? Within our heart is fertile ground in which to plant new seeds, to sow some gratitude and love in spite of what we see. Sometimes a prayer will do the thing that softens the rough places so that we can readily accept what's placed upon our table. Regardless of the color or the wrapping or the size, we'll see that it's a gift of love when we open up our eyes. Meister Eckhart, a German theologian, philosopher, and mystic, said, "If the only prayer you said was thank you, that would be enough." In the various seasons of life, sometimes the two-word prayer is enough to express gratitude for whatever shows up. I appreciate the reflection that Judy shared, expressing gratitude for moving from an area that was rather rural, where she was in nature with birds and eagles. Well, I don't remember all the different things, but you had an appreciation for moving from a wooded area to a place where you're on the 14th floor, overseeing the ocean, and are now identifying with another type of beauty. So sometimes our prayers of thank you, that two-word prayer, is an obvious blessing. It's something that gives you joy. It's something that happens, brings you a lot of happiness. There might be a new baby in the family. There might be somebody who has recently gotten married within your family, among your friends, that opens your heart. You might have a new home, a new car, a new job, or you just might have a new pair of shoes. But you're grateful. It could be you're thankful for the couple in the suite that lives over you who has decided to move. And now you don't have to listen to their fussing and their fighting. You can now get some peace and quiet at night. And maybe you are grateful when you get the cost for your car repair that it's not as much as you thought it was going to be. And so you get to keep a few dollars in your pocket. Or you may have a situation where you've been waiting for test results, and you get the diagnosis, and you find out that they made an error on the scan, and what they thought was there is not there. So our gratitude extends out to many places and beyond, and each one of us have so many reasons to be grateful. But what do you do when you're in the midst of a matter in which you cannot easily detect what the outcome is going to be, and it's making you extremely uncomfortable? What do you do? Can you quickly turn to gratitude? Can you quickly remember that whatever this is about, we have a God, a universe, a higher power. There's something that is beyond this situation. So can you quickly turn to a place of gratitude? And I suggest that you can. You simply say, thank you. Be grateful for what is, regardless of what it looks like, what it smells like, what it tastes like. Just say thank you. Thank you for grace, the ability to be calm and at ease while waiting for more information. Thank you for strength, the realization that you are strong and resilient. Thank you for courage, the capacity to stand firm in the face of fear. Thank you for humor, a willingness to look at the absurdity of a situation that allows you to lighten up on yourself. Thank you for faith. Thank you for a demonstration of faith for those times in the past in which you were faced with adversity and could not see your way through, but a way was made out of no way. So you relied on your faith, even in this case. Thank you for clarity, an awareness that your mind is a powerful tool that can provide the guidance needed, if not clouded by uncertainty and doubt. Thank you for love, a trust in the realization that you are surrounded by love and that the nourishing nature of love fills your heart with gratitude and joy, even in the midst of the madness. Thank you for patience. When nothing is making sense and you're desperate to have some kind of certainty, trust in the mystery of it all. I know it's easier said than done, but if you can just remember that two-word prayer, thank you, it will cover whatever ails you. Being grateful for what is, regardless of how adverse it might seem, allows you with the interconnectedness of everything in the universe. Gratitude serves as a reminder that you are never alone or isolated, but instead that you are connected to the world. To be grateful for what is affirms life and strengthens your muscles of faith so that you have something to work with when adversity lands on your doorstep. Being grateful for what is alleviates the temptation to take something good for granted. And we all know how that is in our day-to-day lives. The things that nourish us the most and that we turn to daily are often the very thing or the very people that we take for granted. Having an attitude of gratitude will help to alleviate that tendency to take things for granted. When researchers asked participants to visualize their own death, their gratitude measurably increased. And when participants were asked to visualize the disappearance of their romantic partners from their lives, they became more grateful for their partners. Savoring special moments and experiences raises the gratitude bar. For those who share in an experience and express their appreciation for it, there's an effect that is similar to tasting fine wine and swishing it around in your mouth so that the flavor lingers. Now, how many of you have done that? When you're trying out a new wine, you just kind of put it in and swirl it around in your mouth and determine whether or not this is a good fit. But that's how it is when you savor the moments. When you have those special moments and the experiences, you don't want to just rush right through them. You want to savor them. And even if you don't share what you're feeling with the person that you experience with, but share with others, it helps to expand it. It helps to deepen it. It helps you to remember. It helps you to be grateful for what that is. Studies about the ways people react to positive events have shown that those who share positive feelings with others are happier overall than those who do not. In fact, you only have to think of sharing good news with others, and your happiness quota increases. You can feel a deeper sense of gratitude when all is not well by reminding yourself how it could be. For example, if you're late to work, remind yourself of those who may not have a job at all. Consider this. Consider thinking outside the box. You know we're encouraged to think outside the box, but in this case, I want you to consider thinking outside the box, looking for opportunities to thank someone that's not considered the norm. Maybe somebody might even say, "Why are you thanking them? That wasn't right what they did." But if you learn to think outside the box, you're able to look at some of your situations and appreciate that it has moved you to a higher level. It has created space for blessings that you might not otherwise have had. It has done something for you that you could not have gotten to unless you had been in this situation. Because it's so easy to feel grateful for the norm, for the good things. It's so easy to say, "Thank you for my food, thank you for my job," but it's not easy to say to your boss who has fired you, "Thank you, I needed that." We know you're not going to say that, but, but you can appreciate that this person recognizes perhaps that you belong in a different place. And even if they don't recognize it, you come to realize that they have pushed you out, but you have been attracted to or drawn something better into your experience. If you're walking past a homeless person, you thank the homeless person. You may not say it to them directly, but in your heart, be grateful because they help you to remember that you have a place to stay. You have a roof over your head. You have food in your refrigerator. And maybe you want to thank the boyfriend, the girlfriend, the husband, or the wife, the person that dumped you. I'm having an interesting time with this shawl. But anyway, you might want to thank the person who let you go or who decided to end a relationship that wasn't working. Maybe they could see something that you could not see. Maybe they did it out of pure absent-mindedness or meanness. It doesn't matter. The thing is, it has put you into a better place. You have grown through the experience, and you can see yourself differently, and hopefully you can see better who you are and what you're worth, your value. In times of uncertainty, people realize how powerless they are to control their own destiny. If you begin to see that everything you have counted on may be taken away, it becomes much harder to take it for granted. So I'm going to end with a story. It's a story from the Hindu tradition, and it's about a king who owned a lot of land in India. This king used to go on hunting trips with his favorite sidekick, his minister. And one time they were on a hunting trip, and the horse that the king was on was startled by a snake. The snake threw him off the horse. He got his foot caught in the stirrup, and he was dragged for quite a while. And by the time the horse stopped, his foot was damaged, and he was missing a toe. And so his minister caught up with him, and he looked at his foot and his toe, and he said, "That is good. That is good." Well, the king was pretty upset because this was one of the things that annoyed him to no end. Because no matter what happened, his minister would say, "That is good. That is good." So here he is again with a toe off of his foot, and he's standing there saying, "That is good." And so he got so angry, he just told him, "You know, I don't understand it. I don't know why you keep saying that is good when it's not good." And he fired him. And so when he fired the minister looked at him and he said, "That is good. That is good." And he went off to his room, packed his bags, and he went away. So the king's foot finally healed. After a little while, he was well enough to go hunting again. And so he went on another hunting trip. And this time, of course, his minister wasn't with him, but there were other people in his tribe that were around him. But somehow he got sidetracked and he went down the wrong road, and he was by himself. So while he was out there in the wilderness, another tribe saw him, and they captured him and decided that he would be their sacrifice. So they took him back to the village. He knew he was in trouble. So they took him back to the village, put him in like a little jail cell, and they started celebrating. They had this person that they were going to use as a sacrifice. I don't know how they were going to do it, but he was their sacrifice. And they began dancing and singing and drumming, and he's like in a cage looking all around, what's going to happen to me? And then the priest of the tribe comes up to him and says, "Okay, now it's time for us to do the sacrifice." And he's taken out of his cage, and he's all bound with ropes and everything. And they take him to the center of the land. And everybody's dancing around him, drumming, singing. The priest is eyeing him, looking him all over. And he says, "Stop! We can't do this. We can't use this man. He's damaged." And they said, "What do you mean he's damaged?" And he says, "He's missing a toe. We can't use him because he's missing a toe." And so he says, "Send him back." So they took the ropes off, and the king limped back to the palace. And when he got to the palace, he thought about his minister, and he said, "I'm going to call him and tell him what happened." So he called the minister and said, "Can you come over? I want to just tell you what happened." And the minister came over, and he told him the story, and the minister said, "That is good. That is good." And so once again, he was irritated, and he's like, "What do you mean that is good? They were about to cook me. I don't know. They were about to kill me for sure." And so the minister says, "There is good in everything. If I would have been with you, they would have captured us both, and they would have seen that you didn't have a toe, but I had all my toes, and I would have been the sacrifice. So in the end, it is all good." And so the king was grateful to the minister for his wisdom, and he hired him back, and all was good. Once again, gratitude grows when you water it, regardless of your circumstances. When you are grateful for what is, the struggle ends when gratitude begins. So remember, think outside the box and be grateful for what is. It may appear to be the worst thing you can consider, but it can also be your greatest growth experience. And so it is. Amen. Please join us in singing hymn number 318, "We Would Be One." Please rise as you are willing and able.
Please join me in our closing words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry with us until we meet again.
Benediction. Oh, I'm sorry. A quick reminder, please join me for the sermon chat at 12:30 p.m. today. I'll see you on Zoom. And now today's benediction. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We have gathered in community to celebrate the glories and the mysteries of this great gift. So may it be. Go and have a wonderful week. Ashe and Amen.